What's up, y'all? Legendary Talks, episode 102. Tonight we have the amazing Margie Plus. We celebrated my 100th episode last Thursday. Very excited to be celebrating my, oh, hey Lynn, my next episodes. I am really excited to chat with Margie. She's a fun time. Okay. You know, painting, I hate it. So yeah, we are here with the amazing Margie Plus. I am very excited to be celebrating with her for all her amazing contributions to culture, and I'm also really excited to be celebrating with Belvedere. I'm partnering on a 4-part series that we both have a lot in common. We both celebrate authenticity, craftsmanship, and integrity. Belvedere's new campaign, Made with Nature, anchors the brand in nature. It's made with Polska rye, purified water, and distilled with fire, and that's it. Very natural. The end result is a luxe vodka of taste and character, like me. Belvedere's philosophy is natural and simple, period. It does not use additives or sugar. Belvedere seeks to inspire people to drink better, quality over quantity. Tonight, I will be making a Belvedere and tonic, made with Belvedere and tonic, garnished with a grapefruit wedge and rosemary. So with that being said, and without further ado, I would like to introduce the amazing Margie, who is going to join us right now. Margie, ready? Hey, Claudine. Yes, Margie is joining us now. We're going to get her in the chat. Where is she? There you go. She'll be a good time, trust me. If y'all don't know her, get ready. Strap on your seatbelts. Hi, Boo.
Yes! Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Check, is this thing on? Let me turn you up.
I can hear you.
Cute! What's up? What's goody?
So, I dressed for you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Yeah. I'm back.
I said I got dressed for you. Margie's been texting me all day. You know, what am I wearing? What am I wearing? Can we match? I'm like, girl, just get on the freaking IG live.
Like,
you know what I mean?
It's weird, and you said neon, so I wore full neon.
So first of all, thank you, Margie, for doing this. As you know, this is my 100 and episode 102.
Which is crazy.
I know, amazing.
That means that we've been locked up and locked down for 102 weeks, days? 102 is something in there. Whatever. Okay.
Since March. Okay, so Marge, on Legendary Talks, we have a sipping game. So the sipping word tonight is authentic.
Authentic. Okay,
yes.
I'm going to say that word a lot.
So, you know, authentic lines up with Belvedere's messaging, but also describes me and you. So I think that's perfect.
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean.
Exactly. So, Marge, please describe yourself to me as if I did not know who you were, or to anyone that's watching.
So I would like to describe myself as a phenomena. I'm a plus-size powerhouse. I'm a singer. I'm a host. I'm an overall artist. I'm a fashionista. Runway slayer. Confidence activist. The life of the party. #blessed.
Great.
Okay.
Love all that. And sidebar, I'm just getting into your outfit. You look great. You look really good.
Wait, sorry, what?
I said I'm just getting into your outfit. You look great. I didn't see your...
Oh my God, thank you. Oh, wait, hold on. I also have... It's like a whole look.
Good. Where are you from?
I'm from Washington State.
Got it. Okay.
I was born in LA, but like we were raised in like Washington State.
So I always say, I think that, you know, the years between like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, those are the formative years that shape who we are as creative adults. It's not our teenage years, you know, it's the preteen years.
Yeah.
So what influenced you about where you grew up? Washington State.
I think what influenced me is getting out.
Yeah.
the want to leave.
Yeah.
And I had family down in LA, and so my mom's sister was here, and so I would come and I'd travel back and forth. And I was like always like coming to LA and be like, oh my gosh, the fashion. Like, and she had some shmoney. So she had like designer bags, and I'd look in like Chanel's, and I'd look, and she lived in Calabasas, and I'd be like, where am I? And then I go back to Spokane, and I was like, oh, real life. Pow. Woo. And then, yeah, so I mean, I don't think Spokane influenced me. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, you know, but in a way, it kind of motivated you to kind of dream bigger. Let's say that, you know.
Oh,
so
totally. It was
but that's an influence, you know.
Totally. Is that I was in such a small town, and it was so closed-minded at the time. You know, thankfully, like, I mean, I love it. I love visiting and going back. I feel like it's totally changed, but you know, when I was growing up, it was totally different. So being able to be myself and move away and have that aspiration to be like, you know what, girl, you need to get out and do something. Kind of
and what's the first song that kind of rocked your entire world?
Wow. How dare you? You know what? Actually, it was At Last. Etta James.
Oh, good. Good.
My love has come along. My lonely days are over. And life is like a song. Yes, you went Christina with it.
So we're getting a full performance. Thank you for that, Mark.
I thought that's what she was booked for. I didn't.
And then, well, sidebar, this is so not what I was thinking, but please do your share really quick, your share.
Okay, so I want everyone watching to know that Damon, ever since he knows that I'm like, do share, like, like I'm iconic with it, whatever, he makes me do it. So, I mean, I'll do it, but just know.
Listen, it makes it, hold on, before you go, I have a video of it. I've watched the video like 100 times. It makes it up every time.
You were really proud of that video.
I love it.
Okay, so hold on. Let me just get into it. Okay, it's going to be Believe. Because. Okay. Margie Plus, I share. Hold on. Okay. No matter how hard I try, you keep pushing me aside, and I can't break through. There's no talking to you, so sad that you're leaving. It takes time to believe it. But after all the shit and done, you're gonna be the lonely one. Oh,
God. Okay. Okay, we got it. Listen. Okay. Thank you for doing that.
You are my mom. My mom loves to take my skills and be like, Margie, do this. Dance my dance.
Thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. And then let's talk about, I want to talk about you when you grow up again. So what movie could either, like, you know, define you, describe you, did you love, what, you know, what movie?
Oh my gosh.
Could be like Britney Spears movie, Crossroads or something.
Oh my God, Crossroads! I mean, honestly, yeah, that was pretty iconic. I feel like, I feel like it wasn't really a movie. It was more like Disney overall. I feel like Disney was the one where they had all the kids singers and they would do all the musicals and it'd be like Camp Rock and it'd be like Demi Lovato like, ah! And I'd be like, ah, I'm gonna be you. But only
what did you want to be when you were young? What was your dream?
The dream was to be overall iconic, but to be a pop star. I wanted to be Madonna.
Got it.
I wanted to be Madonna.
I will be
Madonna. No, I'm just kidding.
And then,
just kidding, girl. You don't think I love you.
And then, what was the first, like, plus-size person you remember seeing in life?
In life?
You know, like I mean, like, in a magazine.
I was obsessed with Queen Latifah. Like, as an actress, like, just seeing her.
That makes sense.
Okay, yes, girl. Huh?
Yeah. I said that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like, I love Queen Latifah, but honestly, in, like, music, it was, like, Beth Ditto. Like, Beth Ditto was when I was, like, coming to myself and figuring my life out. Like, Beth Ditto was that icon girl that was like, oh, I'm fat, but one, I don't care. Two, I'm friends with Lagerfeld. Three, I'm sitting, like, front row at Saint Laurent. Like,
and she was, like, modeling for Jeremy.
Like, shout out to Beth Ditto. Love you, girl.
Doing runway for Jeremy Scott, all this stuff. Yeah, you're right. She's a great girl.
And then now I'm, like, walking in her footsteps and I'm like...
And she was really a rock star, if you think about it. She was total badass. I mean,
she is a badass. Like, she's iconic. And now she's like an actress. Like, my girl, like, my girl's like,
And who inspired you during that time in general? Like, who are some of your inspirations?
I mean, her, obviously.
Yep.
Who are my other inspirations? I feel like Missy Elliott. I don't rap, but her overall presence, it's just people who were confident in themselves and were different and pushed the boundaries and just were like, you know what I mean?
I think, because I was going to say that they are authentic, but I think that's the perfect time. We should make our drink now. So.
They're really authentic.
All right, so it's time to make our drink.
Authentic.
Yes, time to make our drink.
Oh, we're making our drink? Oh! Wait, hold on. Harold, will you give me some ice?
I'll wait for you.
Okay, wait, no, but I have like half of it, so we can like get started.
Okay.
Okay, so I have the Belvedere bottle you sent me.
We're doing Belvedere and tonic tonight, so
yeah. Okay,
we're doing Belvedere first.
I don't know how to do this. So where do I put the ice? In here? Or in
the glass, yeah. Put the ice in the glass.
I have this thing.
No, we don't need the shaker.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did. Okay.
Put the ice in the glass. Pour the Belvedere. You know, not too much.
Okay, so I have my Belvedere glass.
Yeah. Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity. Oh, wait, honey, can you pop this for me?
We're going to talk about him in a minute.
You can tell I'm not very good at this. Okay, here. Thank you, honey. Okay,
so Belvedere, right?
Belvedere. Quality over quantity. Oh, okay, off camera, she might have spilt a little bit, but that's okay. We good.
It's good.
We got the tonic. Okay, you can just pour it over here. Harold is my assistant.
Great. I want an assistant like that, too.
Ooh,
That's good, that's good, that's good.
Okay,
now we have Fever Tree Tonic.
Yeah, we have the tonic. Here, more on camera. Okay, I'll do it. It's okay. Okay, so I got... Ooh! I should not have done that. I shouldn't have done this in my bedroom. Like, why did I think I should do this in my glam room? Like, who am I? Okay, so I have the drink.
You're Margie Plus, boo. That's who you are.
Okay, but...
And don't you ever forget it.
Margie Plus.
Okay, so I'm doing rosemary as kind of like my stir. Let me see. Stirring it with my rosemary. You can just put it in. Yeah, whatever you want. And then I'm adding grapefruit. What are you adding?
I added off camera some orange.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go like this to like, I don't know, I'm not very good at this. Is this what I do? Like this?
Yeah. Yeah. Looks good. So I want to tell you something. So Marge, did you know that Belvedere is made with only Posca rye and purified water and nothing else? Very simple, very natural. Did you know that?
We're like really skinny. We're like super thin.
And then Belvedere's messaging is made with nature and authenticity. So cheers to that.
Oh my God, are we cheersing? Okay, cute. Cheers.
Cheers. Yummy, right?
The rosemary hit me. I think I did a little too much rosemary. Tip for home.
The grapefruit tastes good. Okay, Marge. So you recently moved to LA. Belvedere's messaging is made with nature. How have you experienced nature in LA?
I'm like such a nature girl in LA. It's like crazy. It's like you took me out of the like concrete jungle and you put me in such a pretty place. So we've been going on hikes. That's like my cute thing. It's like, you know, I'm like, let me just go on a Sunday and like go on a hike. Just like be active. I put on my little active wear. I get why everyone in LA is just running around in active wear at all times. Yeah. Because it's like, let me just go to Runyon Canyon and like, let me just like go there and like run.
Yeah, but people take serious business meetings in their yoga pants, you know? I'm like, okay.
And you know what? I'm low key into it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, in the daytime, I look very different than I do in the nighttime. That's all I got to say. So, I mean, I'm like.
Listen, I had an excuse to get ready. Like,
and then,
I have a face. She hasn't had a face in a little while. I'm okay.
So getting back to, you know, your childhood and growing up. So when did you move to New York?
So I moved to New York when I was 23.
And why did you move to New York?
I moved to New York because I got an internship at Condé Nast at Lucky Magazine, where she was a fashion intern.
Okay, Devil Wears Prada.
Exactly. It was so, and I want you to, can I just tell you, okay, so my first day, and I still gag because I was so like, who was I? Okay, so I want you to know New York is a hustle, right? I'm a big girl. I'm walking. So I was like, you know what? It's my first day. Let me have my walking shoes. And when I get to the office, I'll do a quick little change, whatever. Okay, so I'm in the ugliest, like flat, like I don't even know how to describe it. They just weren't cute. Okay. So my first day, I pump into Condé Nast thinking I'm real cute. I go on the elevator, and then literally I'm like by myself, and then literally I see a hand comes in. Anna mother Wintour, honey. I screamed and I ran out. That's it. That was my first day. I went, "Ow!" And I ran, and she just laughed and like was like, "Oh," and then like
she's like, "Your flats are ugly." She's like,
yeah, she was like, "You're horrible." And I'm like,
that's so funny. That's so funny. Okay, and then I think that first year, I talked to Yusuf last night, and like I say, that first year in New York is, it's defining. It defines you. So like, everything you need to learn and know. Tell me about that first year in New York for you.
Oh, baby. My first year in New York was interning. I was sleeping on my friend's floor who lived in West New York, New Jersey. And I was like, oh, she lives in West New York. That's like on the other side. No, girl. You got to take a bus over the Lincoln Tunnel. You got to go through some things. You go, whatever. But she was like a big model. And she was like, I had gotten this internship at Condé Nast. I had no money at the time. And she was like, oh, she's like, come stay with me. She wasn't British. I don't know why everyone's British in my stories. She was like, come stay with me, whatever, crash with me. So I crashed on her floor, and I had they were paying us, I think at Condé Nast, we got $10 a day. So that's the real tea. Okay. And so we would get $10 a day. And so I just remember I got real thin real quick because I didn't have money to eat. I was like, damn, the city changed me. I lost like 30 pounds.
Who was your crew your first kind of crew in New York?
My first crew, I felt like when I came here, it was actually or when I came to New York, I had my best friend from back home was in New York as well. So it was like, we were both made it out of Washington. We're in New York being little queens and whatever. And so I think that was kind of my back home. And then it slowly expanded to then I found my Yusuf and then ballroom and just it kind of expanded beyond that.
And then in that beginning New York phase, who did you either look up to, or did anyone kind of mentor you? Who were your New York who did you look up to at that time?
At that time, when I was at the magazine, I looked up to Bobby Graham, who was this gay powerhouse whose husband was also a gay powerhouse who was running another magazine, and he was the director of advertising, and he was just this icon, just badass, right? And I was we ended up being friends, and he was at my wedding. He was in my wedding. He's my brother, literally. But it was just seeing I don't know, somebody who came from a small town and made it in the city. It was just that first time I was oh my God, if he could do it, I can do it too. And then obviously I'm crazy. You know what I mean? Did anybody mentor you? I feel Yusuf mentored me for sure.
I thought you did.
Yusuf, as his daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
He took me under his wing, taught me. I want you to know the woman you see right now is definitely not the girl that popped off the boat from Washington. Okay. So it was I think that he was that person for me who showed me how to pump, how to girl, show off your features, express yourself. He was don't be scared to be who you are. And I was okay. And then he took me to a ball, and I was they're not afraid. I'm not afraid too. And then Margie Plus was born. Well, actually,
he taught you
because I'm the fat Britney, but that's
he taught you to be authentic. Cheers. He taught you to be authentic. Cheers.
He did teach me to be authentic. He really did. That's my boo.
So Marge, what's your first memory of me, the Legendary Damon?
Okay. My first memories of you are terrifying. I just remember because hello, you're iconic. You are the party, right? So I just
true, very true.
So funny because Yusuf wasn't even the one that introduced us. It was Claire Summers from Fashion Bomb Daily.
Shout out to Claire. We love Claire.
Yeah, duh, she's everything. Iconic also. And basically we were at a press event for a plus size brand, and she was like, come with me, you'll love him. Damon's having a party, and it was at Mr. H. And it was like, and then I just remember like getting out of the cab and like walking in, and you were in this whole like look, and you're like, and you came over and you looked at me and you're like, are you on the list? And I said no. And then Claire goes, she's with me. And you're like, oh, okay. And like from that moment forward, I was like, God damn it, I'm going to be on this damn list he's talking about. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But then it was so funny because all of like the Yusuf, like realizing that you and Yusuf had a history, and like you guys tie, and everybody that I was intersected with was all like intersected with you. So it was just like kismet. I don't know. And
then, well, you say kismet, I say, you know, authentic. Get away. But yeah, I say authentic. But so cheers to that. Oh, okay. But cut to now, you claim that you're my little sister, which I reject, as you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I definitely feel like I'm your little sister because you treat me, you know how like family treats their other family like really bad, but you like love them. You know what I mean? Like it's like
tough love.
I mean? So I feel like we have a sibling like relationship where you like love me and support me, but we'll be like ew, and I'll be like. You know
no, I tell you, I tell you how it is. You mean I tell you the truth?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what you need. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Okay, so. I want to talk about you getting into music because when I first met you, I don't think I knew that you did music, and all of a sudden you were just doing this great music. How did you start doing music?
So I have always sang, like my thing, obviously, like my mom's been making me do a Cher, a Britney, an Alicia Keys, a Christina Aguilera. I mean, the list goes on. I've been doing, you know, whatever, music forever. And it wasn't until I met Harold, my boo, my man, and basically he was a music producer from Norway. We met and started making music together, and I was like, I always sang, like I always wanted to be a pop star, but then I like got into the fashion world, and you know how that like sweeps you up.
Yes, in golfing, just like you and I get it.
We just like pumped out music. Sorry about that. I had just got a call from Adolfo. I want you to know, Adolfo knows that I'm having my live right now. How dare you?
First of all,
to my boy.
I was like, Margie froze. Yes. I was like,
so rude. Shout out to my bestie, Adolfo Sanchez, fashion designer, makes the best gowns ever.
What's up, Adolfo? Stop calling Margie because we're doing a live right now. So wait, Margie, I do want to give you props because I've told you this many times. You perform for me, I would say, you know, I don't know, 20 times or something. And I've had, you know, over the years, I've had tons of performers, as you know, tons that have gone on to win Grammys and become really huge and things. And I always say this about you, you know, when you perform, you know, you perform in my parties, it'll be like 250 people or something, let's say small rooms. Yeah. Every single person stops what they're doing and stares at you and watches you perform. And, you know, that to me is so special. That to me is, I think, what's special about you, in the fact that, like, you know, I've had, people that have gone to be huge stars and people are talking the whole time when they're performing. I observe all that stuff. The first time you performed for me, it was that way, and it's always been that way. The minute you start performing, people just stop, and, you know, so you grab everyone's attention, which is very, you know, it's very, that's your power right there. And then,
thank you.
I love the story about, you know, the MC Light story.
Oh yeah, how I was doing my release.
So you had planned,
and then she was just filming a show during my record release.
So you and I had planned to do your video release. I was happy to do it. You know, you were going to do it on whatever day it was, and then MC Light hits us up and says she wants to perform, and that was the night when you were doing your thing. And I was like, I'm not really sure these two are going to mesh great together. You know, Margie's crowd, MC Light, all these different things. And I was really kind of going back and forth. What should I do? I was like, you know what, Margie, we have this plan. I'm going to stick with Margie. I told MC Light, you know, if you want to do it, she wanted to do it. So then you performed, and they all loved you. They all loved you, her whole crowd, you mean? And I was like, you know what? I can't even believe I even second-guess myself. Margie has that special thing, so.
That was iconic. It was like, oh, hey. Like, I got to, like.
Because you're authentic.
Open up for her. It was really authentic.
Listen. It's your authenticity, I think, that people gravitate towards. That's what it is. So, you mean?
They really gravitate towards
I have to read this.
The fact I glow in the dark, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about your husband. So,
shout out to Les! Hey, Les in the building!
You've been married for how many years?
I've been married since 2017. What's the math on that? 3 years.
And how long have you been together?
6.5 years.
And you guys met on Tinder, right?
Hmm?
You met on Tinder, right?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? That's really amazing.
Right.
And wasn't Tinder kind of new at that time?
Yeah.
Tinder was new.
Before it was like strictly like a hookup app. You know what I mean?
So Marge met her husband, met a guy on Tinder, and they've been married. So they got married. They have a great relationship.
Yeah. And it's like literally my soulmate, and he's from Norway, and he's a phenomenal music producer and artist.
Yep.
And
he's amazing.
See him, and he loves fashion. You know what I mean? Like, imagine somebody with me. Like, they got to be like bringing a look, honey.
No, he's an amazing person. I really love him. And you guys are so cute together. You know, he dresses, you know, not, I guess, as much as you, but he's kind of like, really compliments you with his fashion. You mean, so.
Thank you.
And then I was invited to your wedding.
Yeah, and you rudely declined.
So I thought, what I had thought about your wedding is that you were just inviting all these New Yorkers that you want to come, you know, to like profile. That's what someone told me that that's what you were doing. So
okay,
I was like,
somebody lied to you, and it was somebody who wasn't invited.
I know, it's true. That's exactly what happened. So I thought you were just inviting everybody, you know, all the cool New Yorkers.
I invited 50 people, bro, and you was on my 50-person list.
And I was in LA that weekend, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to, you know, I just like, I'm not going to like profiles or like, you know, put it on Instagram, not realizing it was a genuine invite, and I genuinely regret it, which I've told you many times.
And I think you should, because it was genuinely, authentically the best night ever.
You're right. Cheers to that.
It was under the Williamsburg Bridge in a place that's no longer even there. So we have it was like a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Photos are gorgeous. You looked gorgeous, and I definitely, my bad on that one. Sorry about that. So I just thought, I had heard that you were just inviting all these people you just to, you know, profile on Instagram. Like, I'm not doing that. Yeah, no, you're right. And I, you know, my bad on that. Well, I'll do your 5-year wedding anniversary party.
Well, when I actually have shmonies, I'm thinking in like for our 10-year anniversary. That's when we're gonna go back and we're gonna throw a big party, and then you can.
Yep. I'll do it for you as my bad on that. So.
Yeah. And I'll make sure that you're on the profile list just for that.
Exactly. So, how did you meet Yusuf? Yusuf was on last night. You watched the iconic and legendary Yusuf. How about me?
My zaddy, my father, the iconic Yusuf Miyake Mugler. So how we met is through, you know the brand Joy Rich, obviously. Mm-hmm. So David Melgar was a mutual friend of ours, and I had met him out when I was in LA. And him and I just like became like, we just kept being friends, whatever. And I moved to New York, and he was visiting, and he was like, okay, well, let's go to LeBain rooftop, whatever. I think it was Suzanne Barch's party. And we were up on the rooftop, and we're all just like hanging out, you know, great music, looking at all the fashion, because, you know, people for Suzanne Barch, I mean, baby, they turn it out. They come in looks, and I'm just like this, like, you know, whatever. So it was, you know, we dressed up, da-da. So we go, and he's like, oh, you got to meet my friend. He's going to meet us. And he's like, oh, his name's Yusuf, whatever. I was like, hey, dope. So he comes, and I remember just like being laid up and being like, hey, what's up, boo? And then I was like listening to my song. I was like, oh, listen. And I made both of them listen to, you know, whatever song Carol and I had like been working on. And you're like, oh, like, I love this. And I was like, yes, and whatever. And then basically he was like, you're my daughter. Like, he adopted me. That was like, it was a Suzanne Barch love story, I guess. Yeah.
Shout out to Suzanne. You know, Suzanne Barch is one of the most important people that New York City has ever seen. Just sidebar. He means it.
I mean,
Pat Fields and, what did you say?
Besides you.
I'm like, say it again. I didn't hear you.
Besides you!
Pat Fields and Suzanne Barch, I think, are two of the most important people New York City has ever seen, ever in the history of New York. So that's just my opinion. Okay, so let's talk about Fenty. So you've modeled for Fenty 2 times now, right?
2 times, and then the first time they ever had a show, which wasn't on Amazon Prime, I was the official host of the social media takeover backstage. And
I remember that. So how did the Fenty relationship even come about? You know, did you have to audition for Rihanna herself? How did it go?
Yeah, so basically, I mean, as Yusuf, as my father, as most people know, he's like the iconic vision hairstylist behind Rihanna, has been for years. Yeah. Not only her, like, you know, major, I think he's done literally everybody. He said last night 13 Vogue covers. Like, what? So, I mean, he's always around her. They're like family. I'm his family. It just kind of intersected. And I don't even remember the first time we went. I feel like it was at Up and Down or something, or a One Oak. Like, she always would throw a party at Up and Down and One Oak, and then we just like met, and it was just like cute. And that was like 7 years ago, 6 years ago.
I've never met her ever.
Okay, you've met her. Like, why do you always say that?
I never met her. Okay. Listen, I've been around her a lot.
You've been in her presence.
No, I know. I've been around her many times. I love her party. Her Met Ball party is my favorite party, one of my favorite parties of the year.
The Met Gala party is like
I know. But we've just never spoken, like, we've never been introduced, we've never spoken words. I'm not going to go up to her like, hey, Rihanna, like something that you would do. I'm not going to be like, hey, Rihanna, I'm Damon.
Well,
you know?
That's really rude, and yes, I would do that. And
I know.
Did I already tell you my Madonna story?
Pause, because I want to hear it, but you and Rihanna together, I want to watch it, though, because I'm sure it's like a train wreck. You talking to Rihanna, she probably acts just like me. I think Rihanna's probably very similar to me, actually.
Yeah, you guys are actually very similar. You have very
similar
demeanor.
She probably rolls her eyes the whole time you're talking. Please tell me everything about Madonna. I love her.
But like in a loving way. Okay, so it's not a lot of tea to tell. So I've never even been in the presence of Madonna. I mean, as looking up to her my whole life, I always was like, oh my God, like when I meet her, it's about to be on and popping. Like you don't even know. Okay, so fast forward to Rihanna's Met Gala party, 2016, 17. I don't know. One of them. I've been to them all. So I think it was like 2016. Anyways, okay, so we go to the party. It's at One Oak. We pull up. We're doing all this stuff. I think I'm the cutest. I don't even remember what I'm really wearing, but you know me a little, you know, sometimes she a little off, whatever. So I pump up, and I remember looking, and then all of a sudden I see through the crowd, it like splits, and all of a sudden I see Jeremy Scott sitting with Madonna in a roped off section. And mind you, I had just seen Jeremy at a Coachella party right before that. Like, I'm the only fat bitch with neon hair, no shade. Like, you're gonna know me, okay, whatever. So then I look over, and I see him point, and then I see her point, and then they just, ha, ha, and they laugh. And you know what I mean? You're in a club, there's a lot of people. When you see a laugh, you don't feel super motivated to, like, go up to it. But anyways, it was already roped off anyways. And mind you, the shade is it was a packed ass club. And it was just Jeremy and Madonna sitting at their roomy, spacious table, just roped off, while everyone else is like in the club like this, like up against people like, this is the best party ever.
I want to be Jeremy and Madonna. I want to be sitting there. So what's the point of the story? I don't understand. Were they being mean to you?
Okay, so the point of the story is I think that they were laughing at me, and that was...
I don't think so. I really don't. Honestly, I really don't think so, Marge. I think it was probably in your head. I think that they were probably...
But it's like if you're laughing at me, you're enjoying. Like, I'm making you happy. You know?
Yeah, good. No, that's a great
point. I didn't take it as a bad thing. I just thought it was funny. Like...
So let me ask you this question. Yeah. First of all, why do you have so much energy? You have so much energy. Why do you think you have so much energy?
I've always had so much energy. Honestly, I think I'm ADHD.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period. The end. I don't know.
That's it? That's the answer?
But I've always been like this. That's why my mom would have me do, like, performances. Like, well, she's going to come out anyways. And I'd be, like, my bra on top of my head. And I'd be like, boom, 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 boom. You know?
You do make me laugh. You know that. So, Marge, you know.
You're like, you should stop music and be a comedian. I'm like, I think I'm going to stay in music.
I said that.
I did say, like, can I just?
We'll do both. I said you should do like a one-woman show where you perform, talk. You mean?
You're right. And you know who I just met that's iconic is Lunel. You know Lunel?
Who?
Lunel, Bad Girl, the original Bad Girl comedy. She was in the Savage X Fenty show. Okay, you know what? Anyways, I met her. But she's a female comic and she's everything. And anyway, shout out Lunel, love you, girl.
I also want to thank you before I forget. My goddaughter was in the Fenty show for the first time the other week, and I told you, I called you. Shout out to Memphis. I called you and said, "Hey, it's her first show, Rihanna show. She'd been in other shows, obviously. Can you take care of her?" And you totally did, and I really appreciate that. So
yeah, of course.
You looked her up.
Any family of you is a family of me. Hey.
You annoy me, but I love you. So.
I was literally, like I told you, I was like looking out for her. I was like, where is she? And I was like asking people because you were like really like also like didn't tell me your name. Didn't tell me any. No. Oh. You just like, was like look out for her, and I was like, okay, but you didn't tell me any more information. So I was just going around being like, are you Damon's like niece?
Her mom is on here right now, by the way. Shout out to Sydney. Okay.
Hey, we love you.
So Marge, I really do want to celebrate you in the fact that you are so authentic. First of all, I mean that wholeheartedly. Cheers to that. And then where do you think you get your self-confidence from? Where does it come from?
I think I get, and it's funny because I don't know. Okay, so I feel like it comes from different things. I grew up with my mom she was hard on herself for weight, but with me, she was always like, "You're perfect.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. You want to leave Spokane? I got you. Like, leave." Like, she was very, like, she was a single mom who was strong and confident in the fact that she was like, "I'm going to take care of my kids." And that just kind of, I don't know, having that strong, like, powerhouse of a, woman.
That's amazing.
I was like, you know what? And it's so funny because now I'm like, "Mom, do not be hard on your body. Mom, wear this. Mom," you know what I mean? I'm so, like.
Well, it's interesting because my theory is that, it's funny that you say that.
By the way.
What?
I said my mom's the cutest, by the way. We're like twins.
She is. No, I love your mom. I know her well. But, my theory is like, let's use Jennifer Lopez as an example. Jennifer Lopez is like an overachiever and very self-confident. And I saw an interview with her once, and she said basically both her parents told her the whole time, "You're amazing, you're gorgeous, you can do anything." Khalees, my good friend, same thing. Her parents told her, "You're beautiful, you can do anything." It's like, it's the parents that really instill the self-confidence in the kids, I think.
Totally is. And it's like, and I want you to know, we did not have money. Like, we were not, and it didn't matter though. She always was like, "Girl, like, just rock what you have." And that's why I love thrift stores. Is like, when we couldn't afford things, she would make it fun. She would just have this way of making everything fun. And I feel like I inherited that of like, you take a bad situation, bless you, honey. There's like a bad situation. And then she was able to like flip the script and make it fun. Like, "Girl, you got $20 at Goodwill, go off." And I'd be like, fashion. And I'd be like, mind blown, like getting all these things. And that's why, because I went to fashion design school, mind you, before I went to business school. And fashion design school, I realized she should probably not be a designer. I was more of a stylist and realized that real quick after, I graduated still, but I realized I'm not going to be making the patterns. Let me just like create something with somebody else's vision a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well, getting back to you though, like, I think that, you're an optimist, first of all, which is, I realistically only can have optimistic people around me.
Like a pessimist?
Yeah, I can really realistically only have optimism, people optimists around me, close to me. I can't even have pessimists around me. I really kind of reject that energy. Yeah. You're a total optimist, which I think is amazing. And, like I said, when you walk in any room, you light it up. You kind of, you're one of one, that's for sure. And when you walk in the room, you let everyone know you're there, which is a great quality. No, but you do it. Yeah, it's true. It's true. You are, but you do it yourself. But the reality is, you could just walk in on your own, and everyone would know you're there anyway. You have such a presence and you have a self-respect and a confidence that I think is so infectious in general. So Thank you.
I like to call it confidence activism.
Yeah, it's true. No, I agree with you. Like, you are. Activist. Yeah, no, you are. I'm sure you're inspiring girls that are 14, 13 years old right now. I don't know if you realize it, but from the Fenty show, they're going to see you, and they didn't see that 5 years ago. So
totally, and I feel like that's what keeps me going when it's like, because hello, I'm a big girl with neon hair. I'm not the easiest sell. So it's like, that's what keeps me fighting for being inclusive in the industry, whether it's fashion or music, because I want you to know she's not signed yet, honey, and she needs to be. So shout out to everybody that's watching right now that has, a little connect. Hit your girl up in the DM. Claudine, I saw you in there, girl. I know that you is the connect, honey. So I'm going to slide in your DM, girl. So I'm just going to put that out there right now. I'm going to say it.
Claudine, she's talking about you. Claudine, block her immediately. Trust me.
Don't block me. And
I'm just kidding. Margie,
great things, girl.
I'd love to support you in any way I can and connect you to anyone I can, because I truly believe in your talent. You know that. I've said that many times. I want to ask you a question. How have you been able to remain so true, so pure, and so authentic in all of your, fashion, music, modeling? Like, how have you been able to remain so authentic and pure and true in all of this?
Yeah, well, and I think it's been hard, especially when I see that a lot of brands are like, "Oh, can you wear a blonde wig? And we'll we'll give you a paid gig," or we'll do that. People are constantly trying to change what I am, and it's hard. It's not easy to be like, wake up and be like, ah. I still do, but I think that I have the support system. I have Harold, I have my mom, I have Yusuf, I have, a bunch of friends and family that are, and Damon. Yeah, I was thinking about positive people. And then I was, I'm just kidding. I love you. And I think it's just having a support system that's like, don't doubt yourself. If it feels right, do it. And then now I just got signed with one. manager.
Amazing. Congratulations. I saw that, yes.
Thank you. And it's cool because Manuel is my new agent. Shout out Manuel. I love him. He's literally so fine. He's so fine. But it feels like when you find people that believe in you and your vision and you create a community around it, I think that's when we do great things. That's why we're here now. That's why we have our little scene, like our whole nightlife, and you know, it's so beyond that. It's like a culture, fashion of.
Well, no, you know, our jobs are to inspire, you know, but my thing is that, you know, what you just said earlier about, you know, your support system things, but the reality is you're firmly standing with 2 feet on the ground, being authentically you, and the people around you are just supporting you being you, you know. Shout out to being authentically you, shout out. But my point is that, you know, but my thing is, you know, your shoulders are back. My favorite thing first of all, posture and confidence go hand in hand. I've said it a million times. Your shoulders are back, your feet are firmly on the ground. You're like, I am Margie Plus. You're nothing else. You mean, and that's, you know, that breeds success to me. So, you mean.
Well, thank you.
And then let me ask you, what does authenticity mean to you, and how important is it to you?
Authenticity is the most important thing to me because I feel like I have personally found that I am my happiest when I get to dress like this, and I get to color my hair, and I get to do whatever I want with my body, and that's what makes me happiest. So I feel like it's my mission with the world to show, be confident and authentic in yourself, because that will translate to you being happy. And it's not about pleasing everybody else. Like, we're slowly trying to break it in media and trying to do, like in the Savage X Fenty show, you saw how many, from like plus size girls to like trans models to everybody. Like, it was the most inclusive show.
Let me ask you this though.
I feel like to date, and having things like that and being examples is like amazing.
So let me ask you this. So, you know, as you're a plus size model, but as a plus size model walking the Fenty show with like Gigi Hadid and all these like gorgeous glamazons, how does that make you feel? Like, you know, I'm sure it must feel amazing.
I want you to know that I grew up like watching Paris Hilton, like, oh my God. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I gag for her. So the fact that my whole scene was, it literally camera rolls and it's like Paris Hilton, boom, boom, boom. And she's like, that's hot. And like, you know, perfect. And then all of a sudden it like pans out, and all of a sudden my ass is like, you know what I mean? It was like.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, honestly, you're right. The Fenty show is the most inclusive and diverse thing that I think we've ever seen in fashion, for sure. So shout out to Fenty.
Savage X Fenty, love you.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you a couple other questions. So what have been some of your career highlights besides the Fenty, obviously?
I think that performing at the Porcelain Ball last year was like the most iconic moment, because Fenty Beauty sponsored it. We had like all of this, like our beats were crazy, but it was also where we were able to come together as a house and really show out. And I got to perform right before the face category, my song Face. And so just being able to do that and then pumping and be like, big girl face. Thank you, Margie Plus, Miyaki Mugler. Boom, 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 I'm out. Reebok's on. And now, you know, everyone's living and they're like, face category. And then all these bitches serve. And I was like, did this just happen? Like, so that was like iconic. What was another iconic moment? I just feel like you know what was iconic? And I hope I get to go back next year, the Rock Nation brunch. That was iconic. That was like, I was walking and I was like, oh, that's Jay-Z. Oh shit, that's Beyonce. And I was like, oh, that's Jamie Foxx. Oh, that's like, you walk and you bump somebody and you're like, oh my God, they're famous. Like you felt famous just being in that room. And I was like,
and then who have you met, you know, besides the ones you just mentioned, who have you met that you've gagged over the years? Like who have you really been like, oh my God. DiCaprio. Where'd you meet him at?
I met him at One Oak, and it was with Jasmine Sanders, and basically she had a table downstairs, and it was for our friend Philip's birthday, and so we were like going off. So we're at the like little downstairs area of One Oak, and Leo, they said, you know, he had a table literally right next to us, and so she's sitting right here, Leo's right here, and I'm like right in front of her, and I was like, girl, and I'm like dancing, like trying not to, I was like, girl, I was like, hey. I was like, girl, that's Leonardo DiCaprio, and I was like, hey. You know, just trying not to be like obvious, but I'm so obvious. You know? And she was like, oh yeah, she's like, yeah, I know, that's like my friend. And I was like, girl, that's your friend? She's like, yeah. And I was like, gag.
First of all,
So I looked over, and then, okay, so then the gag really is, and then Joan Smalls shows up, and Joan is like friends with him, and she was like right in front, we're all dancing, and she's like, oh yeah, Margie, like Leah was like, and I was like, I'm just like in a room of icons. Like, how is this happening? Like, he didn't say much, but baby, he was fine, and I could tell with that black hat and that little demeanor that was gonna be my other man.
Poor Harold is all I have to say. So I know you're obsessed with just
Diana Ross. I met her. Well, I didn't really meet her. I more bumped into her.
Where?
I don't want to say where.
Why?
It was at the Trump Tower. And the only reason I was there, this was like 2000 something, back in the day. She apparently had a place there. I don't know what the tea was. But my aunt was staying there, and I was doing a Teen Vogue thing, and she was like, oh, come to like New York for the week with me. I'll take you to Teen Vogue. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. We stayed there, you know. I don't support Trump. I'm just gonna say that right now. Anyways, I'm walking out, and you know, it was a very beautiful hotel. I'll give him that. So I walk out of I'm walking into the elevator, not paying attention, and I was like on my cell phone. I was like, ha ha! And then the elevator opens, and she walks out. And I want you to know, her hair hit me in the face.
Of course it did. Absolutely. As it should.
Her hair hit me in the face, and I was like, shit, and then I like dropped my phone, and then she was like, excuse me, darling, and then like moved, like she brushed past with her hair, moved, and then the bellboy was there. She's like, come, and the bellboy was like with like 70 bags of like the most deluxe, beautiful things, and that was like, I was like,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
I run into people a lot.
You're obsessed with Justin Timberlake. I know that, right?
And I still have yet to meet him. And the fact that I have not, if anybody watching this knows Justin Randall Timberlake, born on January 31st.
Randall,
yeah, it's his middle name.
Did I ever tell you my...
Him, shout out, because we need to do a song. I need to meet him.
Did I ever tell you my JT story?
Oh my gosh, I have to remember, but you can tell us.
So, years ago, I think maybe like 21st birthday or something like that, I can't remember. They were in NSYNC. The group, you know, NSYNC was still around. They came to my birthday party, and they were sitting at my table. It was at a club Shine in New York City. I had cornrows. I had a denim jacket that I had poured bleach on, and I had a 2-finger ring. And you know, I knew the other guys in NSYNC. I met him that night, and he kept going. You know, and we were all, you know, drinking, whatever. It was fun. He's like, yo, I love your cornrows. Yo, I love your denim jacket. It's so amazing. I'm like, thank you, thank you. And then, you know, this was before Instagram. About a week later on the MTV Awards, all of a sudden he shows up the MTV Awards with cornrows and a denim jacket with bleach on it. My friends were blowing up my phone. I wasn't watching it. And they're like, yo, he totally fit your style. And I was like, nah, whatever, who cares? Good for him.
But I want you to know that everybody's influenced by the gays. I said it.
And you. Okay, so, Marge, let me ask you a couple fun questions. So what's the 5 best parties you've ever been to, ever?
The 5 best parties I've ever been to, ever. Okay, so Rihanna Met Gala.
I was there. It was amazing.
Rihanna's very first Fenty Puma show. That's when I met Timbaland. So that was just like, meeting Timbaland was like, I couldn't breathe, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go. And I had this short ass peak hair at the time, and I walked over and I go, hi, I'm Margie Plus. You don't know me, but you will one day. And he laughed and he was like, hi, you know, like, nice to meet you, whatever, da da da. And like, we exchanged information. It didn't really go anywhere past that. But with that said, it was like one of those moments where I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm in New York, and opportunity, baby. Like, that was the first time nightlife was like, oh, bro, like, that's a cute, like, moment. And then I want to say Coachella, Neon Carnival. I said it. It's the best ever. Have you gone yet?
No, never Neon Carnival.
We'll go in like 3 years when it's going to be back open again. And then I want to say that your Lux Ball, I don't remember which one it was, but the one with, it was either Little Kim or Foxy Brown. I don't remember. It was just a really fun party. It was just iconic, and you were like, you always go off, so that was iconic. Okay, what's another party? I just feel like there's just so many. I don't know. This question's really hard.
Well, how about this? What are the the 5 biggest fashion
I
moments.
really like Suzanne Barch. The first time I ever went to Suzanne Barch, I like gagged, and that was like a whole.
Yeah, no, I would say that's a great one. What are the 5 biggest fashion moments for you personally? Whether it be you, the first time you went to the Fenty show, or the first time you went to the Jeremy Scott show or something.
Yeah, so
I
think that it's like obviously like walking. It was one thing because it's like I started out in fashion, so it was like I would go as like, you know, like I'd write about it and I would, you know, I'd have like blog and do all these things, but then to actually be on the other side and be a model, that's like iconic. But that's very authentic, right? You needed a drink or something.
Yes. Authentic.
Oh God,
Cheers to
my
authenticity.
fashion moments. Well,
Cheers to authenticity.
Oh my gosh, yes. They say skull in Norway. It's like skull. I don't know, it's a thing. Okay, so
thanks for that. Thanks for that information.
Huh?
Thanks for that information.
Okay, well, I don't know. It was just like fashion moments was like being able to work on my first like shoot. Like when I was at Lucky Magazine as an intern, because they didn't pick everybody. And you know, my ass was like overachieving. So I'm like, I just made you a schedule and I posted it here. I've organized the whole closet and I would love to attend as the stylist assistant for the new like spread of da-da-da-da. So that was like, I think getting to work on my first shoot, that was like a big fashion moment for me. Sitting front row for my first show was like crazy.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. Everything involved with Savage and stuff.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Marge, what are you grateful for right now in life?
I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for honestly being able to take this time to figure out what I really am going to do next and how to shift, because our whole life was networking and pumping and doing, and that's how we got the next job and do the things and da-da-da. And so it's like not having that. It's like, okay, girl, and just like making more. I think that it's like making new music, and like I'm grateful for like everything, baby.
Are you making music right now?
Yeah, new music.
You better be.
I haven't heard.
You better be. What inspires you right now in life?
What inspires me is to be able to support myself doing what I love, with also spreading my message of authenticity.
Oh, cheers to that.
And creativity.
Yeah.
And just like a side note, I want to give you a shout out because you were the first person that let me perform at their party in New York.
Is that true?
Yeah. I performed at Yusuf's Ball before that, but then you were like the first one that let me like fine. And like your parties were popping, so I was like, ah! Like that was the moment. And then obviously like I performed like 20 times after that, but it was like that
What
first
party was it?
like,
do you remember where it was, or what party was it?
It was, God, because you were at a few places. Like it was at, where's that place that's like in Meatpacking District? That, remember the underground place? No, that was there. No, that wasn't where I did it.
Well, my thing.
So many, maybe gold.
Yeah, you performed for me at least 20 times. But my thing is that, you know, I love. I say I have an eye. I've always had an eye for talent. I can spot it, you know, and I love a performance at a party. I think it's a very important part of the party. And I like when people. It's an exchange between the performer and the crowd. I really love that part. So you mean so.
Yeah, and you know me, I love to put on a show, baby. So like.
Yes, you do. I don't think you've ever said no. I've asked you to perform. I don't think you've ever said no. You're like yes, yes, yes.
Don't tell anyone else that, but thank you.
No, but that is part of your charm, that you are ambitious.
I'm dedicated to my craft, bro.
Yeah. And then Marge, also, we're going through a weird time, you know, with what's going on in the world. How can we support you right now? What's a way we can support you?
You can support me by listening to my EP on Spotify and iTunes and wherever it's sold, Margie Plus. And then just like follow me on Insta, baby. And love yourself. Support me by loving yourself.
Oh, that's great. Well, Marge, I want to thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. You know, here we celebrate people that have been important to culture. I think that you are in the process of becoming important to culture. You're really going to inspire people, I think, with things that you're in your future. I think, you know, by what you've done, what you've shown people with self-confidence, you know, with being very ambitious and being hardworking. And, you know, you have been authentically yourself the entire time. And as a result, I think that you have such a bright future. And I really can't wait to see where you navigate, where you go next. And, I just really think that you will be really inspirational and such a trailblazer for people, the generation below you. And I really want to celebrate you for that. So thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. You said authentic.
Cheers to authenticity.
Cheers. And thank you for giving your girl a chance to shine. You got the eye, baby. I'm never going to forget it.
I love you, and I thank you so much for doing this.
Love you too. Oh, wait, hold on real quick. I want to give a shout out to my favorite brush line, the Y by Yusuf, available at the Y by Yusuf, www.ybyusuf.com. Check it out.
Shout out to Yusuf and ybyusuf.com. Yeah.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you, my girl. Love you. It's great to see you. Thank you. That was amazing. I love that. I love that girl. I'm really excited to be doing these Legendary Talks. What makes Legendary Talks so special is that it's my friends who are sharing their real stories and experiences. They stay true to themselves and all that they do without compromising. As with Belvedere, their debut of Made with Nature reminds us that they are made with only Polska rye and purified water, resulting in a luxe vodka of taste and character. Definitely check out the Belvedere website for one of my favorites, the Belvedere and Tonic, made with Belvedere, Fever Tree Tonic, Rosemary, and Grapefruit. Tomorrow night we have DJ Cassidy for my 103rd episode. Very exciting. Peace, y'all.